Good afternoon, I am Dwayne Talbert, and today we will be going over a customer success story. Specifically, this is for the Meredith Corporation as they were able to gain a lot of data insights for their publishing using Google's automatic machine learning natural language. Next slide. Here is our slide overview. We will begin by going over the Meredith Corporation, what that looks like, look at the business challenge that they faced, look at the tool, which is Google's AutoML Natural Language, look at how Meredith created an implementation test to even test if this would work for them, and how that led to more data-driven insights and their overall results from this. So starting off, Meredith Corporation, now known as Meredith, is a very large media conglomerate that has multiple venues for their media, such as newspapers, magazines, websites, TV stations, and shows. But they have a very large reach, huge organization. They touch about 175 million American consumers every month. What is significant about this is they know their place in the market, and they know who their market audience is. You can see right here that 80% of U.S. millennial women consume one of their products, with 140 million online readers a month. And what this equates to is roughly 1 out of 2 Americans that are online as an adult have some sort of interaction with their media. This includes popular brands such as People, All Recipes, InStyle, Better Homes and Garden, Martha Stewart Living, and Food and Wine. We will specifically look at All Recipes. That is the main character of our story today, but their insights were able to improve all of these brands under the Meredith Corporation. So looking at the business challenge, Meredith as an entirety had already been paying close attention to their customer feedback, and they were pretty good at managing it. It started with All Recipes. They were able to create a taxonomy for their website, which just basically had predefined terms that they used as a vocabulary that they established that helped them for their content classification. They were able to manage their customer feedback on what they were looking for specifically, which then increased by 5% growth from 2010 to 2018. Once they took this model that they perfected with All Recipes, their taxonomy content classification, they applied that across their 40 brands, or they were attempting to. But overall, they saw a 5% growth, so they realized the value of not only content classification, but customer feedback. So this is where the business challenge comes in. 40 brands, multiple media outlets, it's very big. And so as they tried to increase and expand across all their brands, they realized that this one, predefined vocabulary, this taxonomy for All Recipes, which was working, wasn't really scalable at such a large magnitude. They couldn't just take, hey, if this works for this, it is a direct fit over on People magazine or Better Homes. It didn't quite work like that. Also, it was very time consuming and resource intensive, the biggest resource being people. Actually going through and creating the classifications and taking large data and then trying to classify it. So they realized they have a need, they've seen what's worked for them. How do they make all these mesh? How are they able to content classify, use customer feedback to manage it, but then promote it across all their brands? This is where they turned to Google. Specifically, they looked at Google's auto machine learning natural language. This itself is part of the larger Google Cloud Platform entity that has services ranging from data storage, data analytics, and machine learning. They specifically wanted the AutoML because you can service to train and deploy custom machine learning models. Now, they already had a pretty good concept of the model they wanted, but how do they promote that across all their brands? How are they able to tailor it? And so that's where, they were looking to be able to categorize digital content across all their platforms, and specifically use the sentiment feedback analysis. So looking at their implementation, it's pretty cool. They did this test where they took a group of editors from Meredith Digital, specifically in all recipes, and they made them compete against Google's Cloud AutoML. And with this, they took 10,000 recipes and had both the Cloud AutoML and the team of editors go through and classify it. And then they had a separate team of auditors that went through and reviewed it without knowing which group was which. And Google performed really well. And this is just on their very first test. And here I have an excerpt from their vice president of business intelligence at Meredith, and I'll just read it. It says, in our very first test, Cloud AutoML Natural Language provided automated content classification that was at least as good as our experienced manual review teams. The results closely matched human teams on accuracy, precision, and recall, which are the primary metrics for evaluating classification models. With manual content review processes, it took us years to reach the level of content classification maturity that we achieved at all recipes. Cloud AutoML Natural Language will help Meredith's other media properties get there in months with automation. A couple of things here. They're able to take, with accuracy, precision, and recall, everything they were doing with humans, which is great. They're able to replicate it. Not only that, they're able to take the time that it took and condense it drastically from years to months. So just based on one test, they already saw great results. This led them to want to look at other ways to implement it. And it kind of drove this necessity of data-driven insights for them. Starting with all recipes, they were able to then expand it across all their brands. They even turned to Cloud Natural Language because what they were looking for was their efficient content classification. They had that taxonomy with all recipes, and they were able to now replicate that across other brands. Yeah, they were able to replicate that across other brands. They were also able to create the personalized experience using the customer feedback. Using the entity detection and sentiment analysis, they were able to extract insights on user experiences from social media to see what new trends were. And then specifically, if we take insights from social media on what people are looking for, they can then put that into their taxonomy. With all recipes, they saw they had a very limited their content was very limited for the term bowls, but bowls became trending on social media. People were specifically looking for what food dish is for a bowl, like chili bowl, stuff like that. Now they didn't have a whole bunch of stuff classified as that, but they were able to get this feedback from social media that cued them in to say, hey, we need to put focus into bowls because that's trending right now. Then they were able to create tailor this view towards bowls, put it in their taxonomy, and were able to create all this content for it, which helped them get ahead of their competitors because they saw the trend and they were able to get in the front of it and lead it. And that's where the time sensitivity of trends comes in, because trends can come and go very quick. And if you're taking years to classify content, go back through all of your data and put something like, this isn't a dish, this is a bowl. Well, if you've waited too long, now you've missed that opportunity. But because they were able to do it so quickly and have that insight from social media, they were able to lead the pack in that. Also, it just overall increased the visibility for their data discovery. And, talking about like, well, we see these dishes that year over year are popular during these time frames. We've talked about seasonal trends. They're able to see this just through determining what's popular year over year, or what dishes are going to be popular right now, and predict it, and then increase their marketing for that. And they did see great success through this trend analysis, through sentiment analysis, and entity detection. They're able to better market to their customers. Looking at their results, I have right under the results from years to months. I think that's one of their number one results that they got. You took something that took a long time and condensed it. In that, you were still able to maintain efficiency and effectiveness. It overall has now led Meredith to become one of the leaders in data-driven content personalization. They identify trends early. That itself is now a huge bonus, but because they're automating this, their editors are freed up. They can create timely and relevant content to meet the trend demand. They're able to be more responsive to customer engagements, focus on customer loyalty, see what they're looking for, increase overall time to market for new content, and just maintain this competitive advantage that they've been able to hold. Looking at their stats, we see since their implementation of this, they have seen a 20% increase in homepage views, 10% increase to daily views, and 10% increase to return visits. And then below this, we have another quote from their vice president: the Cloud AutoML Natural Language helped us shorten the time to insights with automated content classification based on specific business needs, our custom taxonomy, and custom models. The speed at which we're moving is phenomenal. They've just overall increased their efficiency and effectiveness. So that concludes the presentation on how Meredith Corporation, specifically Meredith Digital, was able to increase, tackle their business problem and just increase it using Google's machine learning products. And here is a link to the article that I used for this presentation. Thank you.